tonight is make sure that our guest speaker has just about all of it. And so a very, very warm welcome to all of you. A quick introduction. There's some faces on here I've not seen, and I welcome you guys to the call. My name is Lori. Last name is Cord. I'm calling in from Michigan. And I've been part of Uforia since about December. And just a little background, it's not even really that important, but I am a traditional business owner as well. And I have a real passion here at Uforia. And I love sharing it. I think it's a really important message. And so doing these calls for me is a ton of fun. And to have somebody like Dr. Jen on with me tonight is really an honor. And so I'm glad to be able to share it with you. I want to introduce her. And having read a little bit about her and stuff, I had to actually create some notes. She's got just a long, long list of accolades. I'm going to share some with you. One of the things that I am intrigued by, especially kind of, woman to woman, girl to woman kind of thing, is she's a mom. She's an active mom. I'm kind of the same thing. There's a lot of synergy there. And I love the idea that she's so committed to both things in her life, her passion for work and her passion for her family. So I'm going to kind of read from the notes a little so I don't get it wrong. So Dr. Jen Myers, she's a certified genetic and nutrigenetic specialist. And she's been following that passion of testing gene variants for SNPs and the way that nutritional pathways help our health and wellness for about 10 years. But prior to that, she was in obstetrics and gynecology. She was in dermatology, she was in endocrinology, and she ended up leaving those areas because she really wanted to work on a more personalized approach to wellness, which I think is really important. And I think the market's ready for it, which is really, I think it's cool that she saw it, before we even saw it. And so she has a lot of experience, a really super vast understanding of the biochemical processes in which nutrition really does affect us, affects our bodies. It's really instrumental in the way we feel and the way that our bodies actually work. And I think that's something that's been missed for a very long time. I think that we've tried, but we haven't been that good of it as a society. I think that we're really predisposed to crisis management and not necessarily wellness. And Dr. Jen really has a passion for kind of flipping that. She is a part of Uforia, and she's been here for quite some time, and she's been very, very instrumental in bringing this to this space. So she is board certified in, I'm going to check these off. I want you to pay really close attention. Biomedicine, functional medicine, oriental medicine, and acupuncture. And she's also certified in genomics, nutrigenomics, clinical nutrition, and advanced DNA analysis and interpretation. So in my opinion, I can't think of anybody that we should have beyond her, right, to come and really bring to us tonight exactly what is happening here. On a more personal note, and being a mom myself, she does have 2 teenage daughters, and I know that that can take up some time. She's super active. They're the kind of family that does dirt bike riding, snowboarding, hiking, all that kind of stuff. So she takes time for that. I'm a pet lover. She's a pet lover. She has 2 dog and a cat. And some of you may recognize the cat's kind of name or moniker. Her dog's name, Border Collie, is named Chase, and her kitty's name is, I think I'm saying it right, Nicola. Is that right, Christian?
It's Nikola, like Nikola Tesla.
Like Nikola Tesla. So I'm sure some of the guys on here know what those are. So with that in mind, Dr. Jen Myers, I had the opportunity to hear from her, hear her speak in January in Vegas. She's fabulous. She's knowledgeable. She's articulate. She's with us tonight, which is really, really great. And so with that, I'm going to let her take it away. Jen, are you ready to go?
For sure. Let's do it.
Awesome. Okay, so guys, we're going to kind of do this in a moderated format, which is a little different than what you see on some of our other calls. But the reason is that I get a ton of questions, and so do some other people that are leading larger teams that seem to always be repetitive. And so we took a lot of those questions. We wanted to bring them to you tonight. So we're going to start out by asking Dr. Jen just to give us a brief overview of Uforia from her perspective. Okay, so not only how it happened, how it kind of got birthed, but what it means and what she's seeing as a whole, under the umbrella of Uforia. What does that look like to you, Jen?
Yeah, so thank you so much, Lori, for that awesome introduction. Hi, everybody. Awesome to have everyone on here. I'm super excited. I love talking about this stuff. So I'm going to try to keep it to the awesome questions that Lori had generated to me. So yeah, Uforia came about. It was another company prior to, so it's been in the making in the past 10 years. I was approached by the CEO, Ron Williams, who's actually a patient of mine. And he said, hey, not doing so well. I don't know. I feel like something's wrong. So I said, you know what, let's do some blood work. And hey, I'm going to swab your cheek for some genetics. And he's like, oh, okay. He flies off the next day, and all of a sudden he's offered this company called Uforia, which happens to be a genetic SNP and nutritional supplementation company. And he texted me, he says, you're not even going to believe this. And he's right. I didn't believe him for a second. Like, how is that even possible? Swabbed his cheek the next day, flew out. So when he mentioned this, and it was probably about two and a half years ago to me, and said, you got to be a part of this. I just feel like this is fate. You were brought into this for a reason. So, of course, without hesitation, because I have been studying nutrigenomics and genetics for a while, and I knew there was something, a huge component to our DNA and our nutritional pathways and our biochemistry and how our body functions and how it uses this nutrition that we give ourselves daily, or these supplementations, that we take every day. There's got to be something to it. Everybody's taking a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and I don't know what form and I don't know what kind. And yeah, we can take blood and we can look at the labs and interpret a little bit that way, but we can't really be super precise. And I've always been a woman of precision. So for me, this was a huge ordeal. And for him to tell me, hey, guess what? Not only is this company coming about, but it's going to be more mainstream. We're going to be able to get it out there to so many more people. That was huge for me, to be able to see that this company can generate so many more people and so many more lives that I could ever even imagine touching or coming in contact with. So this was a huge yes for me. This was a huge tell me more. I just dove right into it, and it's been an amazing experience so far. And the innovation and the people we get to work with, the scientific advisory board, are just amazing people. So it's been an amazing journey. And to see this love, this passion, I actually call it obsession, this obsession that I've had for so long now, come about into this limelight, I had to be a part of it. So it was a neat thing to see. And this company is we're just doing everything we can to push forward, to innovate, to make sure that we are taking all the newest research and information and being able to plug it in and apply it to you guys so you can use it. So it's a really exciting place to be right now for you guys. So I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah, that's funny. Just yesterday I said to somebody, I'm not sure if what I'm feeling is obsession or inspiration. He said he thinks it's both. So I think, yeah, I get what you're feeling. So as far as, we'll start a little bit with the science. Can you explain in the most layman terms that you can what a variant is in the gene?
Yeah, of course. So there's different types of variants, right? So within this amazing long strain and this structure, this DNA helix, we have these enzymes. And within these enzymes, it's codes, if you will. These codes kind of say who you are. So there's certain genes and variants that are going to say what color your hair is going to be, what color your eyes are going to be, how tall or short you're going to be. And that's all stuff that we can't change. We can't do anything about. But there's what we call these actionable genes or variants that actually say how our body absorbs and uses nutrition and nutritional supplementation and guides us through these biochemical pathways to how our body functions, or how we have a weakness within this variant to where we don't function as well as maybe we'd like to. So we're looking at these actionable genes or these actionable variants that we can actually do something about. Unfortunately, we can't change our eye color. We can get contacts. We can't change our hair color. We can dye it. But we can't do anything about those things. These are actionable genes that we can help the biochemistry of our body, how our body responds to things, and how we can keep ourselves, hopefully, out of chronic disease.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so variant just basically makes it so that particular gene is not functioning optimally. Is that correct?
Well, right. So, let's take an example. I like to use examples sometimes. So the best one, the easiest one for me to explain is the VDR TAC, which is the vitamin D receptor. So that just means that within your genetic SNPs or your variants, you don't absorb vitamin D as well as some other people do. It doesn't mean that you are low in vitamin D. We're not measuring your vitamin D levels. We're just looking at that biochemical pathway and realizing that your body doesn't absorb that as well as it should. So therefore, we need to come in and make sure that we supplement that and give the body what it needs so it can thrive at that optimal level. So that's what we're looking at. It's not so much things that have to do with stuff that we can't influence, but these really influential or actionable genes that we can help the body thrive at its optimal performance, honestly.
So cool. That's so cool. So, there's simple cheek swabs. We know that. And that's, something the market's used to now with the other DNA kits that they can't change anything going on there.
Right.
So when it goes off to the lab, can you tell us a little bit about the compliance and the safety and that kind of thing of their DNA?
Yes. So this is one of the big reasons why I was so excited about Uforia and I had no problem joining on board is there are other certain companies, and I'm not going to name any names, that can use your information however they wish. And with us, and there's a couple other amazing companies out there as well, but especially with us, our software is in-house, of course. We are HIPAA certified, CLIA certified, and also CAP, which means your information is protected by law. So we are not allowed to disclose your information to anybody. We are not allowed to share it to third parties. We are not allowed to sell it. We have to keep everything in-house and have to keep it secure. Your DNA is the most personable, private thing about you. So the fact that it's protected is a huge thing. And that is something you should absolutely ask and make sure before you do any DNA test. So I'm really glad you brought this up, Lori, because I think it's a big component. I wouldn't want to do a DNA swab and next thing you know, where's this going? Who's able to obtain this information and what use are they going to use it for? So we're able to take this, we do keep it in-house. We do have our own software that was developed, so we're not sharing this information with anybody. And we have to make sure that we abide by quality standards to make sure that our lab flows a certain way, that we use the information a certain way, and that way you are protected as a consumer.
Yeah, that's really great. And so I think that we all hear the words HIPAA, CLIA, and CAP, and so would you just quickly just talk, HIPAA is for
personal information, for securing and locking down your personal information. Mm-hmm. That's what it's about. CLIA is kind of the same way in the sense that it's a CLIA certified lab, and the acronyms always run past me. So because do I need to memorize? I don't know. I memorize SNPs. So CLIA is Clinical Laboratory Improvement Amendments. So of course, what it's doing is regulating and making sure all laboratory testing that's done on humans or any data that's collected on humans is secure and locked, and that it's not shared and it's not used for whatever purposes we feel like using. So that's what CLIA is all about. And HIPAA is a privacy act, of course, to make sure that any information that we obtain from you stays private and within house. A CAP has to do with pathology laboratories. And making sure that the pathologies in the laboratory testing that we get and the information that we get is secure, the quality of standard is at the highest level, and we're making sure that everything is within a protected and within a quality assurance level. So it's not just something that opened a lab and they said, okay, let's give this a shot and see what happens. And you know what, the data, no, they made sure that every basis was covered and that you as a consumer and you as a quality person within this company, of course, nutritionist, is protected. And so was your information.
That's so great. Okay, good. Okay, and I'd like to touch just on that there's not a human identifier in the process, right? Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
No, because that's kind of irrelevant if we're looking at things. We don't need to know your age, your date of birth. Your DNA is your DNA. It doesn't matter how old or young you are. It's not going to change. It's forever. That's who you are. That's the hand you're dealt. So we don't social security number, date of birth, height, weight, male, female, occupation. That's something that I'm going to want to know if I see a patient directly. But that's not something that we need to know information-wise, because we're not looking at that. We're looking at biochemical pathways and how your body responds to certain nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Sex and all that's irrelevant. We're not looking at hormones. We're looking at precursors to hormones, which will help your body respond much better. But we're not looking at male versus female, social security number, date of birth, or anything like that.
That's so awesome. Okay, great. So what happens to the DNA after it's been tested and paneled?
So it is, we are storing it right now because we're going to be adding more SNPs. In fact, I'm working on that currently. We're going to be adding in new panels, new SNPs, new ingredients, new research, of course, that always has to come with it. This is all research based. This is not us guessing and saying, oh, vitamin C could help with that. Let's give it a try. This is all stuff that we've looked into and done the research and the data on. So we are storing it because we all want to be able to add these things on without you having to re-swab all the time. There probably will come a time, though, if it's down the road a little bit, it can only be stored for a certain amount of time. And Michael Smith, the CEO of the lab, would know that answer a little bit better than I would of how long he's actually able to store it for. But we can store it for a specific amount of time, and then, of course, we have to discard. So we're not selling off any information or just kind of holding on to it and saying, what can we do with this stuff? Yeah. So it's all being used fairly, and then in hopes that when we add new SNPs and such and new panels, that we can just pull the information off that, because we're able to test for 17,000 SNPs right now. That's huge.
Yeah. Yeah, that's huge. That is huge. And nobody wants to have to keep going through that process either. So that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So I do know that this product, before it became Uforia, was part of a market study. Would you be able to tell us a little bit about that?
So I can a little bit. Yes. I'm sorry. I was trying to close that out. Joel is definitely the better one. I know you've had him on for that because he's been with this company for forever. So from my understanding, we have been doing mostly in-house type things, and certain people that have been, okay, let's go ahead and do this testing and let's see what happens. We literally have had one person that has had kind of a negative reaction to the nutrition, and the poor thing was Joel's wife. So we're like, oh,
I heard that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We are going to be implementing a lot more long-term studies and looking into how our nutritionists and how the consumers, and once this gets into a practitioner line, which it's going to be, which is super exciting, then there's going to be a lot more case studies as well, because these practitioners, of course, I would as well want to make sure that everything's been looked at a long-term level, and it's not just, oh, this is brand new and we don't know how people are going to react. So there has been a lot of documentation that shows how people have reacted and how people have done on the nutrition. We haven't gone into lab results and things like that. That's all stuff that I get to do, thank goodness, in the clinic. But within Uforia, because we're looking at optimal health and wellness and foundational support here. So of course, we're not trying to target disease or cure anything. So this is kind of just looking at how people feel when they take it, and how they've done long term. And everybody's done significantly well. People do great.
Mm-hmm. So do you find that people feel differently? They actually feel differently?
Okay, so yes and no. And I know that sounds weird, but let me get into that. So some people will take the product, and this is even in practice that I see. Some people will take stuff and they're, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. I have all this energy. And then maybe a couple of weeks later or months later, they're like, I don't really feel it so much anymore. Well, it's because your body's adapting to these things, and the biochemistry of your body is doing what it's supposed to do at this point. There's some people that, you know what, I don't feel anything. And I've even had patients that come and I can't tell a difference. And I said, really? Okay. Let's talk about your energy levels. Do you feel like you can sustain energy? Well, yeah, I can. Do you feel like you sleep better at night? Well, actually, yeah, I do. Well, how about weight? You know what? I've been able to maintain my current weight or even lose weight. So we're seeing a lot of really good results with people. And those are the three most popular things. Sleep, I'm sleeping better. Energy, my energy is very sustainable. It's 10 o'clock at night for some of you, and I still feel pretty good. I don't feel like I need to crash or have that afternoon crash. And then of course mood, it does help enhance mood a little bit too. And you just feel better when the biochemistry of your body works the way that it's supposed to. Sometimes you don't realize how good you're supposed to feel until you feel that way. And then when you stop the product, you go, oh, okay, now I see the difference.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, the Experience of Uforia Facebook group, that's all just customers talking about this product, truly is, it's spectacular, really. I mean, it's so fun to go in there.
Absolutely. And I tell people all the time, if you're just like, oh, I don't know, yeah, I guess, I'm not quite sure. Those are just some things I tell people to look for. How are you sleeping? How is your energy? Are you sustainable? We want you to have the best foundational support so you can take on whatever it is you want to take on during the day whether it's 100 miles an hour or it's 50 miles an hour. I don't care what it is. I want you to be able to get through that, to be able to lay your head down on that pillow at night, fall asleep, wake up, maybe not sunshine and roses, but wake up feeling good and be able to go throughout your day again. And recovery. We want to enhance recovery potential as well, how your body recovers from things.
Got it. Okay, good. Now, the ingredients of Uforia, they're plant-based and organic, yes? And
Yes.
then what is the quality of the ingredients that Uforia uses?
So we are actually, Michael Smith and I, the CEO of the lab, just got back from California not too long ago. We interviewed some vendors. We interview our vendors before we just go with them. And I formulate for a couple different companies. One of them happens to be a raw plant-based company. So I kind of really sort of know what to look for, and so does Michael. So we want to make sure that there's quality ingredients, going by research and looking at different things that have actually vitamins, minerals, plant-based raw material that's gone in and influenced these genetic SNPs in a good way, and then going after these vendors and saying, okay, this is what we're trying to do with it. This is our requirements. This is what we're looking for. Can you meet those? And let's talk about it. And we'll even tour their lab. I mean, it's definitely a thorough process. It's not just, oh, this company sells vitamin C, let's go ahead and just use their stuff.
Right.
So we do an interview, a very thorough interview, which I find very important.
It's very reassuring too. And then it's also gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan, and non-GMO. True?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
We want to make sure we cover all bases, because we don't want somebody to say, well, I'm a vegan and I can't take this product because of it, which is one of the reasons why we had to make this shift with the vitamin D. There's one company in the whole US that makes a vegan vitamin D. That's it.
Yeah, Joel had mentioned at one point that it was such a small component anyway, and it was from the sheep's wool or something, but that prohibited that vegan platform. So that's
exactly.
Yeah. So for what we're using, which is coming up on 100 peer-reviewed plant-based nutrients, how easy would it be for somebody to get their result, their panel, their SNPs, and all of their score, and go to GNC, Whole Foods, that kind of thing, and replicate it?
You'd spend thousands of dollars. And I don't even think you could, because then you have to look for a specific type. So some people go in and, okay, I need B12. Well, what form of B12? Do you need methylcobalamin hydroxyl? What kind do you need? Folic acid. Well, folic acid, folate, folinic acid. What kind do you need? Oh, CoQ10, ubiquinol, ubiquinone, what kind do you need? So to be able to be that precise and go in and get the exact milligram, microgram, ml, cc, whatever it is I use, whatever it is that you need to sit there with your list and look through that stuff, you would go crazy, for one. And for another, you would spend thousands and thousands of dollars. And a lot of companies don't make them in specific amounts like that and specific forms. And to take all that all day, every day, I don't think anybody would eat food.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they would just be eating supplements all the time. And you never know the quality of the company and the interaction of taking all these things. This has been studied. So this is a lot different than going to a health food store or to GNC and just trying to grab stuff off the shelf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so cool. It's not even possible to ingest enough food to get what we need, right? That's not even a possibility.
It's not, and that's been an argument for a really long time with people. Sorry, I had an echo. It's gone now. Okay. A really long time with people is I eat really healthy. So therefore, and I'm like, okay, that's great. That's great. But that doesn't necessarily support your genetic weaknesses. I saw something pop up on the chat box, and I made my heart melt. So whomever said it, thank you. About cracks in the foundation, right? I use that all the time. I don't know if somebody's heard me say that or they went with it, but it was amazing. Thank you. Cracks in the foundation of a home. So we all have them. We're born with them. We have them. And we have to support those weaknesses and hold those so our whole house doesn't come crumbling down, right? So when we start just taking all these random things or we're just eating these foods and thinking that we're getting what we need, our body doesn't always convert them into the way that we think we should. So therefore, we're not really assimilating, absorbing, and using these things the way that we're meant to or we're supposed to, because we are all deficient in something. It's just the human nature. That's just how it works. So we can't be 100% of the time. It's almost impossible. Not only that, but there's so many other cofactors. You start bringing in epigenetics and stress and lifestyle and occupation. Just walk outside and take a deep breath sometimes. You can't control a lot of things. So there's other cofactors that come into play as well. So eating healthy is great. And I'm not saying don't do it. Please do it. Please continue to do it. But we do have to come in and offer extra support.
Yeah, yeah. And so what do you see, Uforia, how do you see it affecting the supplementation market that is currently in place, the blind nutrition market?
It's hard to say because I've been doing this for so long and everybody else is still going and still going strong. People are really starting to question things, which I love because I do work for other companies that are not targeted for DNA. They just use their products as supplementation and try to use healthy supplementation. So I don't know that it's going to shut it down necessarily. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. I just went to Expo West in Anaheim, California, which is all natural products. And there was over 200,000 people there. Within 3 days, I covered probably 40% of this thing. It's huge. The supplement industry is massive. Will we put a dent in it? I sure as heck hope so. I really do, because it is tough to go in and just say, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to take, how much I'm supposed to take, and what form I'm supposed to take it in. So I'm just going to go get this. Oh, my friend Sally said this helped her, but I took it and I felt worse. Oh, this supplement's garbage. And that's not necessarily the case. But, to be able to be this precise is a big thing. A lot of people will get it and love it and do it. And there's still going to be people that don't. And that's okay. And that's all right. We hope that we can change their mind. But I've learned over the years, you can't change everybody's mind. You can't. One day you hope that they come around, but I don't know that it's going to impact it, but I don't think it's going to shut a lot of companies down because there's still going to be people that want to take things their way and don't understand it.
Right. I understand. And so do you see that Uforia will be adding products? Like, do you have any idea what's coming in the future, or can that be shared?
I do. I know all the secrets. Yes. So in fact, I had a conversation today there. I don't want to disclose just yet because I've just been asked to start doing some things with this and it's in the process and in the works. Yes, there's going to be more products. For one, I can talk about the practitioner line. So there is going to be a practitioner that will keep the nutrition, of course, and a practitioner line where we can get our practitioners and physicians to come in and be able to have more control and power over what goes in the product, over what, they decide, hey, we're not going to methylate our patient just yet. We're going to go ahead and do everything else and add those B vitamins in later. Or, hey, we're going to add that extra vitamin D boost in there. This patient's low on vitamin D. And they'll have more control because they'll be looking at labs. We'll be doing some accreditation. We're hoping to get them CEUs and get them certified in this. So that's exciting and big. There will be new panels, I can say that. So we are adding some panels on here as well, which is exciting. And there will be other products. Yes, I will say that.
That's really exciting. So we know that, especially for those of us that know the network marketing space, we understand the power of what Uforia has. Foundationally, I've never seen anything like it, and it's just so early still. So that's super exciting. What do you think, do you believe that this type of nutrition will eventually become a standard of health?
Man, I hope so.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not going backwards. We know that, right? I mean, we're looking at this being the future of not only health and wellness, but also medicine, correct?
Correct. I mean, I don't see a patient that doesn't get a genetic swab and get a genetic test because it gives me their blueprint. I tell them all the time, just to give them a sense of humor. I'm cheating, essentially. I'm looking at your blueprint. So I'm just one of those people that went out and learned how to read it. But I have your blueprint in front of me. So I really do hope this makes a huge impact because more mainstream people are going to come across this. It's not just going to be practitioners. 23andMe, I'm going to say it because I'm not going to say anything negative. Maybe 23andMe offers information and that's it, right? So you have to have a system or a software or somebody information in and then tell you what to do about it. This offers not only, hey, here's some genetic SNPs, here's your genetic weaknesses, but here's how we're going to go in and support it and help those. And that's what I love. So we're hoping, and that's what we're seeing, and I've been even seeing over the years, is this is just becoming more innovative. This is becoming kind of a standard. It is my standard of care. And I think with a lot of practitioners, a lot of people, they want to know, I don't want to guess anymore. Tell me what I need to take and why and how much, and I'll take it. And you can't go wrong with being that precise. You really can't. So it just takes the guessing work out. And I really hope this touches the medical field in a big way. We'll always have some that don't want to jump on, don't want to learn more about it, don't understand it, don't appreciate it as much. But I think for the most part, they're going to think in their heads, you know what? I mean, it's biochemistry, it's science. You can't argue with that.
Yeah, it's not subjective. That's true. I mean,
No.
we see that even with technology, right? You know, some people just climb right in and some people just resist. And so that just, it's true of everything. So from a business and timing standpoint, we do have people on this call that are looking at Uforia as a business. And I know there's certain, you know, boxes you want to check. We want to make sure leadership is good, which we know it is. We just had a call regarding that. But tell me about the timing of this. How does this look? You know, I know the marketplace is ready. I'm in the trenches. I'm talking to people and I know they're curious. So from your opinion, how does it look from a business standpoint to really kind of lock arms with Uforia now?
Well, it's in infancy, right? We're still here. We're still at like the 0.02%. We got so much to go still. So jumping on board now is probably one of the smartest things that you can do, of course, because you want to get something ground level. You want to come in on the infancy part. Now you're going to see it change and evolve and innovate. And that's another cool fact is you don't just jump into this amazing company that's been doing all these things for 20 years and you're way down on the totem pole. You get to watch as we innovate, and you get to say, hey, what about this? Or hey, I you know, any questions and anything that you guys have, we love hearing it. And we might not be able to get to all of them, of course, but we try our best and we try to answer things as well we can. But to come in now is a huge thing, to come in at a ground level company that's doing something that nobody else is doing. That's huge. And it's not just, like I said, this is the leadership. Ron Williams is amazing. I'm a little biased because I've known him for a long time. The scientific advisory board, I'm a little biased because not only because I'm a part of it, but the gentlemen, I happen to be the only female, and I think about it, the gentlemen on there are brilliant and they're passionate about it. And we're all super passionate and obsessed about what this is and what this is doing for patients and people and consumers. So to get in now is huge. Mm-hmm. Let me just say that it's huge.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. And then the last thing, and then we'll let you go be with your family, is what, I mean, we've talked about so many of these things. If you can just kind of all sum it up together, what makes Uforia so special? You know, I know we've put a price on wellness. There's so many things going on, but in your eyes, why is this so special?
It's offering it at a level that we as practitioners who have loved this and been in this could never reach in a million years. It's like this product. There's a particular product. It happened to be an MLM as well, and I probably won't mention it. I'm sure you would know what it was if I started talking about it. They put it on the shelves in GNC, right? And they just hoped that these little GNC guys could sell this. Well, it didn't sell. So they pulled it off the market and said, you know what, here's what we need to do. We need to teach people about this product and how to sell it. So they went into network marketing. I'll be honest with you, I don't do network marketing. I don't even do network marketing for Uforia. I'm here because of the science. That's how much I love what's happening here. It has nothing to do with the business aspect. It has to do with, this is where my obsession and passion lie. And to be able to see this go to where we can teach and support you all to take this out and spread it like wildfire is huge. I can only touch this little bit of an area. Dr. Dixon can touch that little bit of an area. Dr. Berquist, Brett Hayes, Dr. Shalesh, we can only do what we have the power and we have the outsourcing to do. But if we can teach you all how amazing this is going to make people feel, and how this is going to offer overall health, wellness, prevention, and support to your body, spread it, go crazy, please. And that's what we hope is that we can teach people how amazing this is, how precise, how targeted this is. And they go out there and they just talk about it, like, to everybody you see, talk about it, please. And hopefully that puts a little pocket change in, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, make money from it, please, because it's amazing. It's not that you're trying to make money off something. You're trying to sell something that's, you know, how am I going to sell this? This sells itself. It really does.
I'll give you that for sure. We're seeing it happen every single day. People are super intrigued. And I want to thank you too for all of the snip videos you've put together. There's nothing better than when somebody has a question that the tool's already there. Like, the tool's already there. And that's, it's really very special. So thank you. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
You're lovely and so much fun to host with you. I'm so happy that you were able to take the time to do this, and I know all these guys are too. So have a great night, Miss Dr. Myers, and we will see you in June in Vegas.
Thank you all. Yes, I'll see you in Vegas. Hopefully you all will be there. Please come introduce yourselves to me. I lose my voice every time because I love talking and hearing your stories. They're inspirational. They inspire me, and they validate why I'm here. So thank you all for that. Thank you, Lori, for having me, and I'll talk to you all soon.
Yeah, have a good night, everybody. Thanks for joining in, and we'll see you soon. Thank you. Take care, guys.